For someone who is new to stocks and stock market, and for someone who is trying to follow a company's stock, this screen of information might scare you a lot. There is a lot of information on the screen, but all very important information. Don't worry, by the end of this video, you will be able to understand each and every piece of information and you will be able to make decision based off it. Let's get started. This web page called tradingview.com is one of my favorites. It gives a comprehensive view of a stock and the market with almost all the information you need in one view. Here, for example, I'm viewing the stock of the company Apple. Let's begin with this panel on the right. The first info that we see is the company's stock ticker symbol AAPL. You can think of the symbol as a code given to the company. If there are two companies of the same or similar name, then consumers can easily differentiate between them using this symbol. Then the big one, the current price of the stock. Along with the stock price, it also indicates if the price of the stock has gone up or down during the day. Generally, red means price went down and green means price went up. One thing to note here is when you are analyzing a stock, don't just look for the dollars that went up or down. Check for the percentage change as well. Losing $50 a day is not the same for $100 stock price company versus $3,000 stock price company. The stock market usually closes at 4 p.m. Any trade that happens after that will be shown as post-market price. Next are these two small range graphs. First one is the day range and the second one is the year range. It shows the highest and lowest price for the range. For example, in this 52-week or 1 year range, the lowest price of Apple stock was $89 and the highest the stock price was $150. The arrow shows where the current price is within this range. This is important here. This will give you a sense of how the company is performing. If it's close to its 52 weeks high, then the stock is performing very well lately. Next is a bunch of these key stats. The first is volume. This simply says how many shares traded hands during the day. If I sell 10 shares and you buy those 10 shares, then the volume is still 10 and not 20 because 10 shares traded hands. The volume tells us the liquidity of the company's stock, or in simpler words, how many people are buying and selling the company's stock. If you want to sell 10 shares, then there should be someone who is ready to buy 10 shares, right? If not, you will have to lower your asking price or wait for someone to buy at the same price you're asking for. On the other hand, if there are millions of people willing to buy and sell, trading is easy. You can easily turn your shares to cash if required. Next is market cap. This tells what is the worth of the company. If a company has 1,000 shares overall and each share is worth $100, then the market cap for the company is $100,000. Similarly, the total share outstanding for the company Apple is 16.6 billion, which is provided here. If you multiply this with the current stock price, it will give you the market cap, which is $2.4 trillion. So the next is dividend yield. We have seen in our previous videos that a company, when it makes profit, can split that profit with the investors. This is called a dividend. How much the company is willing to give back the profit is called a dividend yield percentage. Here, the Apple's dividend yield is 0.6% of its stock price per year, which is approximately $9 a year for each share. There are some high dividend yield companies which can give 3 or 4%, while some don't provide any dividends. So if you are looking for stocks which gives you a dividend, this statistics is for you. Next, PE ratio or price to earning ratio. If you want to know if you are overpaying for a stock or underpaying, this is your statistics to keep an eye on. When a company announces its quarterly or annual results, they share their earnings per share, which means the earnings that the company made per share. If you divide the current market price of the share by the earnings per share, you will get this number called PE ratio. It says 32 for Apple. If you see the next value, basic EPS, which is 4.5. If you divide the current market price by 4.5, you get this 32. What does this 32 mean? You have to compare it to something to make sense of it. If the company A has PE ratio of 30 and the company B has PE ratio of 50, then that means the company B's stock price is priced higher relative to A, or A's stock price is undervalued when compared to B. Cool. Now you know most of the key statistics when you view a stock. Next is the earnings tab. A company releases its performance results every quarter or 3 months. Then there is this income statement and performance for the day, month, year, etc., which is self-explanatory. Let's move on to the left panel here. Seems complicated, but it's actually not. What you see here is the price variation of the stock price for Apple during the day. You can see below where you can set the period of the chart for 1 day, 5 days, months, years, etc. There are different ways of showing the price on a chart. What you see here is the candlestick chart. A lot of investors use this as it shows a lot more information. But let's see this in our next video. For now, let's change this chart to a line chart. Using this line chart, at any point in time, you can see the price of the stock at that moment. And if you zoom out to a longer period, say 1 year, you can see how the stock is performing overall. You can also see these markers which tells us about events like the company's earnings results, when the company's paid dividends, and even when the company's stock got split. We understand this line chart, but what are these bars at the bottom? They are the trading volume of the company's stock. We saw that if there is a high volume of trade, then there is more liquidity and it is easier to buy and sell. The red and green shows the trading volume, which caused the stock price to go up or low. If you really zoom in, you can see that when the volume shows red, the price also went down, and when it shows green, the price went up. So now you know each and every information on the screen. Any changes to the stock price is a direct effect of one of the factors in the screen. If the earnings per share went down, the stock will go down. You can correlate every information about the stock and its price here, though we have barely scratched the surface. Subscribe to know more about evaluating stocks and understanding investments in more depth. Okay, hope you have enjoyed this video and found something useful out of it. I'll see you in the next one. This is Anjana. Bye-bye.